So one of the most popular frameworks that's used in coaching is the GROW model by Sir John Whitmore. So this stands for a goal, reality, options, and way forward. It's a very simple 4-step roadmap for a coaching conversation, which can be very easily applied to a one-to-one tutorial. So it's really important, I think, and I found it very, very helpful because it helps structure the tutorial and make sure that the students live with clear goals and actions that they have identified themselves. So the goal is setting the agenda, really, that the student presents. Reality is understanding where they are and where they want to be. So this also fosters metacognition, that is thinking about their own work and the thought process that was involved in it. The options, so the students need to be empowered to see multiple pathways to success. So we are brainstorming with them, not just prescribing one solutions or making an immediate recommendation of what it is they could improve. And way forward, which is very important, I think it's actually the action plan or the commitments they need to make. This implies the willpower to move, to follow through. So the GROW coaching framework, I think, is something that needs to be used if you're interested in this. When we come to consider the emotional and motivational climate of our tutorial, of our tutorial sessions, because this can also impact student outcomes, I found the PERMA model, positive psychology model by Martin Seligman, which outlines 5 elements of well-being: positive emotion, engagement, relationship, meaning, and accomplishment. This was originally a framework for general well-being, but it nicely applies to coaching, to an educational coaching context. So positive emotions, most of us begin our tutorials with praise because this makes students feel safe, not judged, not defensive, and this allows them to be more receptive to feedback, so they don't resist our feedback. Engagement, we want the students to be actively engaged, not a passive listener. So we avoid turning the session into a mini lecture, but we try to keep the students mentally and physically engaged throughout. Positive relationships have to do with building trust, as I said before, being non-judgmental, listening actively and attentively, show genuine interest and care, and position ourselves as a partner and a facilitator rather than someone criticizing the work. So as we know, in EAP context, international students might be feeling culture stress, or the language barriers may be preventing them from, exploring their full potential. So psychological safety is very important for them. Meaning we need to connect feedback to their larger aspirations. So what does the feedback they get mean to them? We need to spark a sense of purpose or intrinsic meaningful goal to them, and remind them to see the bigger picture and not just focus on one single error. And finally, accomplishment is important, to acknowledge progress and celebrate progress, no matter how small. So show students that they have already accomplished something important and what they can accomplish later on. And that really builds their confidence. So the focus is not only on their performance, should not only be on their performance, but also on their well-being and mindset, because this is what allows our feedback to be more effective and more accepted by them. Another theoretical, oh, have I skipped one? No. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So I think I've skipped one. Okay. Sorry about that. I need to go back. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about some key coaching skills that I mentioned before that are important. According to Nancy Klein, the quality of your attention determines the quality of other people's thinking. So deep listening creates a safe space for students to think and speak freely. And if we listen to students without distraction or judgment, then they feel, and when they feel truly listened to, then they can articulate their ideas more clearly, or they can arrive at new insights as they speak. How do we practice attentive listening? First of all, giving the student your full attention without interrupting, allowing pauses, giving wait time. If we stay quiet, the student will continue, and give them like 5 or 6 seconds, the students will continue and reveal more. Usually, and I used to do that, we tend to immediately respond to what they say. And I think that's not very helpful, because you just prevent them from exploring further. Using body language, eye contact, nodding, smiling are also very helpful. However, don't overuse yes, right, yeah. This can become distracting, but I see helps the students feel that you are engaged. Very important is to paraphrase or summarize what they say and try to use their words back to them. So for example, what you're saying is that you feel unsure about how to structure a paragraph. Is that right? So this summarizing of what they've just said does 2 things. First, it shows that you understand, or gives them the chance to correct you if you didn't understand correctly. And then it helps them hear their thoughts played back, which can bring clarity to them as well. Another advantage of attentive listening is that we try to listen for feelings, not just words. So when we give our full attention, and we give the thinking time, then this enables students to push their thinking further. Also, we need to, I've tried to avoid shifting to advice mode immediately, like they come up with an area they feel they are struggling. So instead of saying, have you tried this, or what you need to do is this, I've come to realize that asking for their permission is better. For example, I've thought of something that might help. Would you like to hear it? So this also puts them in a position of authority. So you ask for their permission to help you. and they grant you permission to help them. So this makes them receive what you say in a better way. So another very important coaching skill is asking powerful questions. So in a coaching conversations, attentive listening and coaching, powerful questions are our primary tools, I would say. So especially open-ended questions that prompt students to think and articulate more ideas. And the overall idea is not to tell, but ask whenever possible. So what kind of powerful questions can we ask in a tutorial? These would be, okay, as I said, open-ended questions, clarifying questions like, what are you trying to say in this part of the essay, or what does your reader need to know by this point? Probing questions like, what made you choose this structure for your essay? Trying to get them to think and rationalize. Metacognitive questions like, how did you prepare for this task, or would you do something differently next time? Options questions, like aligning this with the GROW model. If you had more time, what would you change? Scaling questions, which these are my favorite ones. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you about your essay, for example, or about your presentation? And if they say 6 or 7, what would it take to get it to a 10? So this makes them, create a plan. Plan emerges in their heads, and that's their plan. It's a plan that the student owns. And finally, future-oriented or goal questions. What would success look like for you, or what's your goal for this task? And these questions bring in the bigger picture, as we discussed earlier. Of course, we can all think of different questions too. I think I've skipped a slide about the mindset, but never mind. Okay, so in coaching, clarifying action and getting students to set their own goals is essential. So how can we land the plane, that is, agree on what happens next with the feedback? The ultimate goal is improvement, both in coaching and in feedback tutorials. That means the students need to take action after the session. So creating an action plan is very important. It's the W in GROW, the GROW model. So the way forward, and that's put into effect. It's very important to get the students to articulate their own goals. So to show us that they understand what we've been discussing, and verbalizing their commitment is very important. They could even write it down, which will not be said as homework, but it will be more like a note that will remind them, and they can go back to it and see. So ending the tutorial with a clear student authored action plan is very important. And this is the difference between a feel-good discussion and actual progress. So the students need not only to feel motivated, to have a positive emotion and think with a growth mindset, but also knowing what they need to do next to improve. This fosters a sense of control and progress as well.